Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. From Bubba Cugs here on Twitter, transfer of power from west to east. The Riddlers were right. This just came out the other day, guys. This is Vladimir Putin, okay? A stern warning to the West, the Western world, that the world order that we knew is over and a new era is now coming. Now, Putin, I mean, you can't put 100% of your faith in him, but, he's also a very smart man. And I think here he's calling out the world elites for what they truly are. Now, this is in Russian, so I'm just going to read you guys the subtitles here and put it on mute as I play it. Revolutionary transformations are increasingly gaining momentum and strength. These tremendous changes are certainly irreversible, and both at the national and global levels, the foundations and principles of a harmonious, more equitable, socially oriented, and secure world order are being developed, an alternative to the existing, or as we can say, to the previously existing unipolar world order, which by its nature, of course, becomes a brake on for the development of civilization. He goes on to say, the model of total domination of the so-called golden billion is unfair. Why should the golden billion of all the population on the globe dominate everyone and impose its own rules of behavior? Based on the illusion of exceptionalism, this model, it divides the people into first or second rate, and therefore it is racist and neocolonial in its essence. While the globalist, allegedly liberal ideology underlying it is more and more acquiring the features of totalitarianism. Wow, so there, he's sounding the alarm. The global elites have created a society that has been unfair to us, and a new era is coming in. A new era of finance, of course, is going to be front and center to this. So, an interesting statement here by Vladimir Putin from a couple of days ago. Also, this fact that, Bubba Cugs is saying, the transfers of power are moving from west to east, which really did get me also thinking about this riddle from Bearable Guy, the ship riddle. If we were just to assume, north, south, east, west, well, in which direction is the ship traveling from west to east, out of the storm and into sunnier days? I don't know, just putting it out there. We're also seeing some interesting Ripple partner developments. This coming from Matthew Liny with regards to BRAC. BRAC this past week, they announced a partnership with global payments infrastructure company TerraPay, which is a Ripple partner. Through this partnership, non-resident Bangladeshis living and working in other countries will be able to send real-time digital cross-border payments to their friends and family using TerraPay's interoperability platform, of course, that being RippleNet. According to the release, around 13 million Bangladeshi workers living abroad send close to about $22.1 billion yearly in remittances to Bangladesh. They have to face various challenges while sending money to Bangladesh on a regular basis, but with TerraPay and BRAC joining hands, non-resident Bangladeshis will now have access to a secure, real-time, and affordable passage that allows them to send money to Bangladesh easily. So TerraPay, a Ripple partner, now partnering up with BRAC, so one of the banks over there in Southeast Asia, now enabling a non-resident Bangladeshi. So I'm assuming that before you had to have been a resident, maybe of Bangladesh, in order to open an account. Well, this is allowing anybody to kind of just send money to and from, utilizing TerraPay's technology, which obviously the back end there is RippleNet, leveraging XRP for that on-demand liquidity to transfer from currency to currency. And this is likely an exotic corridor. I believe Bangladesh has their own currency. Right, yeah, so their currency is the Bangladesh Taka. So an exotic currency, likely, probably not a lot of corridors there, and this is why, leveraging a RippleNet partner, having that partnership between this bank and TerraPay obviously makes sense. This is going to be the new world, I think, that Vladimir Putin has been discussing, this new world, democratizing payments. It's going to be over for the billionaires. I also saw this guy's from Mike Manfield here on Twitter, Ripple Partners ACI. They just announced that IR, a leading global provider of performance management and analytics for payment ecosystems, has extended their partnership with ACI to include enriched end-to-end enterprise transaction monitoring. So these guys, another Ripple partner, part of the ACI enterprise payment platform, ACI Payments Monitoring powered by IR. Transact gives banks and financial institutions visibility into the health of their systems and status of payments in real time, covering high value and low value real-time payments, as well as card payments. The announcement of full enterprise monitoring capabilities follows more than 2 decades of successful partnerships between ACI and IR. And so again, because of what we've been experiencing because of the beer flu, this has dramatically accelerated the trend towards real-time payments around the world. Is that any surprise? I don't think so. ACI's Worldwide 2022 Prime Time for Real-Time Global Payment Report forecasts that real-time payment transaction volumes will rise. So, even though we're kind of, at the, I don't want to say at the end of the pandemic, but, it's not as prevalent, obviously, as it has been in, previous years, 2020 and 2021. But we're still going to see, these types of real-time payment transactions rise. From $118.3 billion in 2021, it's looking to reach $427.7 billion annually by the year 2026. And a lot of these payments are going to be happening outside the United States. So global payments, guys, as governments and central banks enable the shift towards real-time payments to unlock economic growth, they are providing further impetus for cashless and real-time digital payments. The real-time monitoring capabilities that ACI and IR provide positions banks to respond to this change. So here we are now seeing a Ripple partner extending their partnership with real-time transaction monitoring, because, we're seeing real-time cross-border payments becoming more popular. Obviously, this tends to make sense, and we're likely going to see a lot more of these types of transactions and a lot more of these partnerships, too, I think, over the coming years. So I wanted to thank Mike just for pointing that out. Another Ripple partner, guys, in the news. Ripple remittance technology launches on Spotify via Airwallex's new online app. This brought to us by Ian Binns here on Twitter. So Ripple user Airwallex has announced the launch of its Airwallex online payments app on Spotify. Shopify, not Spotify, Shopify. Ravi Adusumili, SVP of Partnerships at Airwallex, speaks on the offering. Our app is one of the many offerings we have built to help merchants accept cross-border payments. So this was originally brought to us by Wrath of Condiment here, and so you today's just highlighting his tweet. Airwallex, for those of you guys who do not know, they did join Ripple's enterprise blockchain network back in 2017 to modernize global payments, leveraging the power of blockchain. The global fintech platform also became a part of RippleNet, adopting blockchain commercially to provide its customers with a unique global payment experience. And so now we're seeing, another company, Airwallex, extending their payment offerings, extending these rails in countries, APEC countries and the EU, 7+ different currencies. So, the future is going to look very interesting for payments. And, Ripple had it spot on. I mean, whether it was because world elites have been planning this from day one or not, Ripple's always known the exotic corridors are where money's going to be flowing in the future, and so that's where their focus has been from day one. Even before, all these partnerships were made public and, the first step was solidifying these partnerships. Now we're seeing RippleNet partners partner with other companies and, since they have the benefit of leveraging RippleNet technology, we're seeing them really take it and run with it. So great news here, guys, coming out of the Airwallex camp. Wanted to thank Ian Binns just for posting that. I also wanted to mention this, guys, from Mickey B. Fresh. So there's been a lot of straight up misinformation, as he states here, spreading about the upcoming Flare team governance proposal that'll be fully voted on-chain by the FLR community. So he wanted to dispel some rumors, some myths, perhaps, and, for those of you guys still expecting your Spark FLR tokens, this might be of interest to you. It's been clearly laid out for 4 months. Okay, and so this was in the rollout and launch process blogs and the Flare roadmap diagram back from March 30th. So he's just laying it out here, guys, just demonstrating where the governance update and token distribution is happening. This is the Flare roadmap. So for those of you guys who want to look at this in detail, you can get a sense of where this is going. Governance update on token distribution. The team has been working on a governance proposal regarding the token distribution, of course. It has been postponed. These guys are trying to get it done right. And so here's just some more points with regards to this. The remaining distribution, though, will start subsequent to a governance vote, mentioned as FLO2 in the Flare rollout document on how to conduct the distribution. The governance proposal will be published around mainnet Genesis. So more information down here. Mickey B. Fresh continues by saying, launch details blog. The remaining distribution will start subsequent to governance vote. So he capitalizes that, obviously, wanting to make that very clear. Mention FLO2 rollout doc. Absolutely no reason, and it's embarrassing attacking an upcoming proposal that removes exchange risk and increases community engagement to delegate vote power to FTSOs. Also, just with regards to distribution, public token distribution event and further distributions. Upon exiting observation mode, the initial token distribution of 15% will take place. And just the other day, I talked a little bit about the Flare networks and how if you will be getting your tokens differently based on if you self-custody or if you have your tokens on an exchange. It is at this point that self-custody token recipients will be able to access and use their tokens, and that exchanges can distribute the tokens to their users. He continues on by saying, I will feature the top 5 overall best questions and arguments in my next YouTube video. And this is happening today, guys, dedicated to governance proposal by the Flare team, but voted on chain by the FLR community of FTSO vote power delegators. What legitimate reasons you're against proposal, explain why. And so I suggest you guys follow Mickey B. Fresh over there on Twitter if you guys are interested in anything Flare related, because he does have a great channel over there. Sorry, did I say Twitter? I meant YouTube. He's got a great channel over there on YouTube, just kind of giving more detail about this. But I wanted to highlight this. I thought this could be important to some of you guys. Anyway, thanks to Mickey for posting that. Interesting too, if you guys perhaps missed it, Zago is putting a lot of assets, guys, on the XRPL. So this retweeted out by the Wrath of Kahneman. Breaking news, Zago now supports the euro with XEU backed 100% with fiat on unique payment gateways and exchange utilizing the XRP ledger, adding to USD, USDC, the Great British Pound, ZAR, XRP, fast money transfer with certainty. And so here is the article just giving some more details with regards to that. Zago recently announced the launch of all these different currencies. Well, we've got fiat currencies here, all developed on the XRP ledger, adding ZAR and Ripple's XRP currencies. So focusing on empowering people in Africa, Zago's innovative money movement solutions are built with speed, efficiency, and low-cost transactional abilities. Their latest product, Expedite, is a white-label international money transfer solution developed specifically for banks and retailers to offer a cheaper and faster option for their clients to send money anywhere, anytime. And so a quick quote here, guys. According to the Africa Center for Strategic Studies, the number of people who have migrated from Africa to Europe since 2010 has doubled and is currently over 11 million. The cost of sending money into and out of Africa is higher than any other continent and can take over a week to arrive to its destination. So another argument here for leveraging RippleNet, especially in Africa, considering these corridors super exotic. The currencies likely do not travel internationally, or the bulk of the volume does not travel internationally. So for those cross-border payments, of course, RippleNet leveraging XRP for that liquidity is going to be beneficial for specifically for a continent like Africa. One of the reasons we founded Zago is to enable our corporate clients, such as banks, to offer their customers instant, low-cost options when they simply need to send money home to their families. And so I talked a little bit about this concept, a little bit about it with regards to Sharia law in yesterday's video. I'll link that video up here in the top right-hand corner if you guys missed that. XRP, Sharia compliance. So in a lot of those Islamic countries, we now know XRP is ready to go. And I think that's going to have a big impact on a lot of the people sending remittances to and from other countries, especially those with exotic currency pairs where we don't see a lot of transactions. XRP being leveraged for liquidity, it's going to be a game changer. Certainly in Africa, we're seeing migration increasing. It is one of the most difficult continents to send in money to and from. So RippleNet and XRP sounds like it is a match made in heaven. Zago is also now adding currencies. So guys, it's looking very, very promising. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman just for posting that. I also came across this, guys, from Nathan Price here on Twitter. I don't know if he's got the right info, but I figured I'd mention this. The SEC knows about Nustar and XRP. They have records on their site, Beep, blockchain-enabled e-commerce platforms. This has everything to do with today's XRP. So this goes on to talk about protocol XRP servers, Delegy distribution clusters, something I've never heard of. Over here, they talk about Block's Extensible Exchange Protocol, or Beep. And in this, they talk about XRP, that Nustar will, so here it is. Nustar will establish an agreement with an outside escrow agent to develop a process and schedule for frequent escrowing of its USTDL zone file, including chain of registration data, blockchain. Okay, and over here, Nustar will deploy the Extensible Registry Protocol, or XRP for short. The XRP protocol will accommodate both thin and thick registry models, utilizes Beep as the transfer protocol, real-time XRP functions. So, on the surface, it does sound like this could have to do with the XRP cryptocurrency, but a lot of people down here are saying, this is a different XRP altogether. This is not the cryptocurrency. This sounds like some kind of web related IT protocol. I am not a techie person, but even to me that doesn't sound right. Like Matt Hamilton saying this has nothing to do. Okay, so Matt's even coming out and saying, this has nothing to do with the XRP cryptocurrency. This is some kind of domain name registry system that happens to use the same acronym. So the other thing I found funny here is I think somebody brought up the fact that somebody working over there was named David Schwartz as well, and that it was this guy. This is the David Schwartz, CTO Cloud Cost Optimization, and not the David Schwartz or the Joel Katz that we know. So if you guys see this floating around, do not be fooled. This has nothing to do with the XRP cryptocurrency, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention anyway, just to kind of clarify some misconceptions that some may have here by posting this. Anyway, wanted to thank Nathan Price anyway, because anything that we can, the way I look at it, information is power, and even though this isn't about XRP, it is good to have it in our heads that, if we're hearing about this has nothing to do with the XRP cryptocurrency. We don't want to get mistaken. There's so much information out there, and, to be well armed with the information that we need to know, I think is important. So the misinformation, I think it's also good to address, just to let people know, so it does not keep spreading. So wanted to thank Nathan anyway, but also wanted to thank Matt Hamilton here, just for letting us know that this is not the same thing. Anyway, I'll link this tweet in the description if you guys are interested in that particularly. Wrath of Kahneman, guys, bringing this up now. We know Accenture was a Ripple partner, one of the first companies to actually invest in the initial Ripple company. And this Accenture brochure about collateral management with blockchain mentions their experience with Ripple at the end of their bona fides, but the real insight is with their comparison of Hyperledger and Corda. So they do give, some differences here, and I will link this report. The report is, it's only a few pages, about 11 pages here. I will link this in the description for those of you guys who are interested. We know Accenture has been a proponent of Ripple, has been an early investor in Ripple, but that they are also running R3's Corda, which coincidentally, by the way, can actually settle with XRP, but doesn't necessarily have to settle with XRP. In the final statement, though, here, they talk about Hyperledger and Corda, and just to give you guys some context here, Hyperledger is a consortium of projects which Ripple did actually join back in early 2018. Ripple joined the Hyperledger project along with 13 other companies and organizations. So just to give you guys some background on that, distributed ledger startup Ripple has joined the Linux Foundation-backed Hyperledger blockchain consortium. Hyperledger did announce on a Wednesday back in 2018 that Ripple is among 14 companies to join the group, which first launched at the end of 2015, and to date has added more than 200 firms and organizations to its ranks. So Ripple is a member of the consortium, and just to give you guys a little bit more information, how is Hyperledger different than Ripple? Mihir Roy goes into this again from several years ago, but just to give you guys a sense of how it is different, Ripple is a single consensus protocol and ledger combination that can be leveraged to track any IOU-based assets. Hyperledger is a protocol by which a group of known parties can create a consensus process. Hyperledger consensus processes can range from quasi-centralized 4 to 5 nodes owned by 2 companies to fully decentralized 200 nodes owned by 50 different companies, for example. Other parties can then issue assets like shares, fiat money, commodity-based tokens on the consensus process. We leave the judgment of preferred level of decentralization for any application to the free market. More decentralization brings greater trust and reliability to the ledgers. So down here, though, there is no preferred currency like XRP. Ripple posits 2 uses of XRP, which we reckon can be substituted by other mechanisms. XRP is supposed to help prevent ledger spam, and Hyperledger's perspective here is that ledger spam can be prevented by a combination of rate limiting and blacklisting spamming addresses. Alternatively, consensus process can levy transaction fees in the asset they are tracking. XRP is supposed to be a bridge currency between IOUs. Hyperledger perspective is that the free market is fully capable of choosing its own bridge currency. So you can use XRP, and here's the great thing about the theory with Ripple is that you can utilize XRP. It is the most efficient, but with the Hyperledger specifically, it lets you choose what your best option is. Now, if at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, it's XRP, well, then it's XRP. But I guess there's, the option for that flexibility if there is a case where it's better to send Bitcoin. For example, we do not need to invent a new currency for an operation that the US dollar fulfills admirably. If Bitcoin were to replace the dollar, well, then Hyperledger-based systems will shift to Bitcoin as a bridge. So here's the other thing. Hyperledger can pick. And this article was written, 7 years ago now, okay? Updated 7 years ago. So at this time, Ripple's XRP was not prevalent, was not prominent. But think about it this way, guys. Moving into this new financial system, moving into this new world that, Vladimir Putin is saying, this is a new world, guys, for finance. Power is shifting from the west to the east, and Ripple and XRP have permeated the financial world over the last several years. So now more than ever is XRP going to be relevant in these types of systems. So just going back to that Accenture article here, and guys, I will link all this in the description if you guys want to read further. So Hyperledger or Corda, how to choose between these two DLTs. Both Hyperledger and Corda platforms have unique features suitable for different business needs, while Hyperledger provides a wide range of offerings through its multiple frameworks on blockchain. Corda is more customized to the needs of the financial services. Corda's consensus algorithm addresses the ongoing debate on blockchain's operational costs and sustainability due to its high energy consumption. Hyperledger, on the other hand, continues to provide higher flexibility with pluggable consensus algorithms. And so to sum it up, depending upon the scale and volume of transactions, Corda will be apt for small and mid-level markets, while Hyperledger, and this just makes sense to me, Hyperledger fits the bill for larger markets. So larger value payments on Hyperledger, and this has been in the works for several years now. Ripple joined the Hyperledger blockchain consortium 4 years ago, and even before that, we could see that there are specific processes within the Hyperledger that can choose, can utilize, can customize. And I mean, the way I see it, the fact of the matter is, considering Ripple is a partner of the World Economic Forum, and XRP and XLM for that matter, are two of those WEF approved coins that are going to facilitate cross-border payments, or at least, they have been highlighted and discussed by the World Economic Forum. It is no doubt in my mind that this is where we're going to see the majority of especially large valued payments, right? As they state here, Hyperledger fits the bill for large markets. The high value payments, as we've been hearing from the get-go, these are going to be processed through XRP, guys. So are we finally at the last mile? This coming from eRob here on Twitter. During a World Economic Forum Davos meeting, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands leads the discussion with the last mile. Digital financial inclusion, digital public goods, and the Gates Foundation. Was the Queen referring to Ripple's last mile playbook?
Another big example is connectivity. And here, reaching the last mile can be the longest mile. Connecting and serving the poor in rural and remote areas affordably can only be achieved through collaboration. But what are those models of cooperation that enable the last mile clients to really get digitally connected? What are the types of regulations and the right incentives for the private sector to invest and serve this last mile? And we must not forget that connectivity also means access to devices and good quality devices. So that to build all these vital digital public goods, we should start, of course, with dialogue. When countries start sharing the knowledge together, we can really learn from what works, such as the Brazil PIX interoperable payment system or the India's Stack and the Indian ID system. There are many, many examples, and they do not only come from very big countries, because when I'm speaking about Nigeria, India, or Pakistan, we have amounts of people that we can actually set up several systems that might actually work. But we also have very good examples of countries like Peru, Estonia, that have actually set up these type of corporations that really work with much, much smaller countries. And of course, what is the role of global organizations? They can really help bring governments and private sector together. If I've seen something in all my visits with all my partners is we've been the nexus and the glue to actually bring this dialogue together. Because without that dialogue, we're not going to move the needle on this front. So the World Economic Forum, UNDP, the Bank of International Settlements can also all facilitate discussion and exchange on digital public goods. The Gates Foundation and the World Bank Group are really ready to provide capital and technical assistance to many of them. So, let us not lose ourselves in discussing what are the competing allocations of, is it digital, of is it health, of is it education. Without digital inclusion, we will not make health possible, we will not make financial inclusion possible, and we're not going to make education for all possible. So if we just sequence our priorities, it will be the way to go. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the good discussion of this very
So financial inclusion, a very meaningful, I think, talk here from Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. Understanding the bigger play, she mentions the Gates Foundation, which we know found in Mojaloop, which is also Ripple enabled. So is she talking about Ripple's last mile playbook? You know, these guys tend to, utilize the same kind of language when discussing topics where they really need to kind of hit the point home. So is it any coincidence that she's talking about this last mile? And Ripple did release this last mile playbook, discussing the fact that, speed, transparency, and liquidity are critical for efficient payment processing and cross-border transactions. In many regions around the world, however, this isn't always the reality. So, interesting point here. I gotta thank eRob for pointing this out. Ripple's last mile in global payments refers to the movement from financial institutions to end recipients, which can be fraught with inefficiencies. This is why we're seeing RippleNet technologies take off. This is why we're seeing, like Africa and Zago in Africa adding, I think, more. They're realizing, the need for this. And in the Middle East, approving XRP through Sharia law. This is all going to be important. There is a transfer of power from west to east. Putin obviously very critical of global elites. And even if the World Economic Forum does not succeed, guys, I've been saying this for a while now, it's not like Ripple and XRP are going to fall off the face of the earth. I think we're at a point right now where the financial system is broken. They were the ones that broke it. They are just trying to find cover in order to fix it where they remain in power. I think we could find ourselves in a scenario, like what Putin's saying here, where global elites, billionaires will fall, the democratization of sending money will prevail, and certain high-value payment cryptocurrencies like XRP are going to be at the center of this. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.